I'm just thinking now, here's a subject that obviously, you had a background in comedy, and I've always loved Woody Allen's sort of theory that comedy and tragedy are just very close. Like, comedy is tragedy with a little bit of time that you can look back and laugh at it. So from your own personal point of view, 6 years ago you're writing this, was it a painful experience? Was it cathartic? Was it fun in any way? I don't know what the feeling of it was.
Yeah, no, it certainly wasn't painful. It was. I find it fascinating. I love people watching and seeing the different facets of people and stuff. So it kind of stemmed from, I went to a SOS run these workshops. And they're like wellness workshops.
These are Suicide to Survive.
And they run these wellness workshops, and it just absolutely fascinated me because everyone comes in initially, nobody knows anyone, the heads are down, kind of everyone's really quiet, and then when they realise they have similar things in common, literally people just open up, and you've seen all the different characters, different people, like the quiet one that all of a sudden comes out of their shell, like the eccentric one in the corner. And I found it fascinating that when you have people on a level playing field, how they open up and they come alive, and I just found the whole thing fascinating. So I was like, I want to write something, like obviously you can't write about a wellness workshop because there's too many people in it, so something on a smaller scale, totally different characters, from different walks of life, and how when they come together and realise they have something in common that they can really connect, and so that's basically why I decided to write it.
So we should say, Liam, it's 6 characters, a facilitator and five of those who are along to basically discuss all various different aspects of and all their various different experiences. So you've got a rich tapestry of possibilities. From your point of view, Gerard, when you were shown the script, I think it was through a mutual friend. Did you immediately kind of get a click with it, or did it take you a while to figure out how do I put this together? Or
Well, it took a while to get that part of it right, to put it together. But the fact that I had not seen it, heard about it when she put it on first. Up in the Civic, I do a lot of work in the Civic, so I heard it. And I never knew who wrote it, and I never knew where it was. And then, I don't know how, I asked them up in the Civic. Remember the play Leon, I mean, one of the girls did, and who wrote that? And then she looked at it and that's we came to that, and we contacted Lorna, and she just came, she was delighted to get it done again.
Yeah.
And would it be a long process of from that first early rehearsals to what appears on stage now? I know that I think it made its debut on the Suicide Awareness Day in 2014.
That's right, yeah.
I don't know if that show right there has sort of evolved, or whether you got to that point where this was exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ger's version of it, so he was just talking about it there on the way down.
It's all new thing he does. So
it's just
all his plays become all new eventually.
No, but it's great to see someone else's take on it, and it's going to kind of make it more fresh, and it's going to, so I'm really excited actually to see it taking place. But when I wrote it, this industry seems to be who you know, not what you know. And when I go and see plays, personally, my taste in plays is Joe Soap kind of stuff, and not the highbrow stuff. It's just not my taste. I'm sure it's wonderful enough, but I want to go and see what I like, and I just was finding there wasn't enough kind of stuff out there. Do you know what I mean? Real stuff. So I said, right, I'm going to write something real, kind of Joe Soap, like no lines I can't cross kind of thing, just how real, and started writing it and didn't know anyone really to go to. And I remember Nikki, who's actually in Ger's other play, said, we'll put it on ourselves. I was like, oh, you can't do that. And she was like, you can, we'll go, we'll book the theatre. I had to borrow the money for the deposit of the theatre, and they done it on a proviso, like, you sell the tickets, we get this amount of money, whatever is left over. Now I donated it to SOS. And I literally shit myself, going, what the hell have I done? I've had to book in a theatre, like. And then we auditioned, myself and Nikki auditioned the actors, and then I thought, I'll direct it myself. Never directed anything. Didn't realise how important a director is. Like, literally, it's the difference between a shit play and a really good play, like. And this other guy came on board, and it kind of went from there, but it was all learning, and, but it really does seem to be who you know, like, in this industry. But then it kind of took feet and legs and just got the notoriety from the play.
Well, the great thing is good work does often find a way through. And people are drawn to, if Ger's already got experience or whatever, people who come on board would already have some, they bring something to the table. But they're obviously excited about what you've written, and that's
there's a lot of people who are turned off theatre because they think it is all highbrow, and you know, and they were losing an audience there at one stage. You'd go and see a play and there'd be hardly anyone in the audience, and that's what I wanted to get kind of real kind of something that I would go and see back into the theatre and get, because the theatre is the most fascinating thing ever. You feel like you're a fly on the wall, you shouldn't be there, you know. So intimate, and it can't be copied and it can't be bootlegged, and you know, so I just thought it was amazing, like to.
Well, given your connection with you know, you worked a little bit with SOS, that the idea that you know, you've got to be responsible and you've got to sort of be sure that you address, you know, issues, and that's got to be you know, the side to it that you've sort of got to be sensitive to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I actually between the lines saying something negative here?
Exactly. And when I started the first draft of, I done one scene and I done a draft, and I had actually one of the characters actually commit suicide in it. Because that's the reality. Like, if you're running a program, the reality is you might lose a person in that, you know, if they have suicidal tendencies. But I couldn't go there because you could have someone very vulnerable in the audience, and the CEO of SOS said, no, you can't really do that. You have to be very sensitive to who's in your audience. Sure. Do you know what I mean?
And the reason they're there is possibly because they are almost looking for
exactly, and you have to show hope. And she said the main thing is to keep showing hope. There's always another choice. We always have a choice, and that's what she buried into my head from very early on. And she kind of, no, you can't do that. You have to do this. And then we had to have supports as well, leaflets and supports there for people who would have been vulnerable, who had seen it, you know. So yeah, I had to be very careful.
Now, do you find that, I know that audience members, you've had one woman come up to you after a show and she just related entirely to one of the characters.
Unbelievable.
Another character, I think, was at am I called the Loose Ends Theatre?
Yeah, that's right.
Loose End, that was your debut in the theatre. But he just started shouting out with the characters as if, you know, these people are really in the room with me and I want to let them know what I feel. That's got to be wonderful, where you know that it's connecting on that level. They don't feel there's a wall between these characters in their world, that this is...
Yeah, it was such an intimate theatre as well, that the audience almost felt like they were part of the group. And there was this particular scene where Rachel, the character Rachel, has to leave early, the meeting early, and she goes, see ya, and someone went, see ya, bye. Which was we were kind of looking up, but it was brilliant. Like, it went to show, like, people were just walking there going, oh my God, I know that character, I know some of that character, I can relate to that character. There was something that they saw in each of them that kind of, they either related to themselves or someone that they knew, and that was like job done, you know.
I don't know if there were certain kind of like references in your head about the style. I mean, you think on the big Hollywood level, I suppose, Cuckoo's Nest and, you know, there's, you know, films like that have sort of dealt a little bit with this, but then also, you know, the works of Roddy Doyle and people like that have sort of gone down, and Ken Loach into, you know, ordinary everyday people and what they go through. I don't know if you had reference points between the two of you, or when you were putting it together you said, oh, we should think about watching that film, or I don't know if that was necessary.
I didn't really. I kind of, it was through speaking to people. I done an open, there was an open day for the SOS head office years ago, and I had to decorate the place, and I had to do, like, I'd done one room as like the really dark room, and then I'd done a room of hope, and I had to decorate everywhere, but I was given like testimonials from people who had done the Eden program. This is people with suicidal ideology, is that what they call it? And tendencies, and just from reading all the different, like, how stigmatized it still is. Like, I know in my day, if it was called, you either suffered with your nerves, or you know, he had a breakdown, or he's not the full shit, and that kind of thing, and how it's all swept under the carpet and all. But just by normalizing it, how people just open up, and, you know, the difference that doing that program where they're sitting with people who have the same issues and the same problems, and even if it's not exactly the same, they can relate to it in a certain way, how much it helped, you know. So that really hit home, and I was like, just normalise it, just to have it so ordinary and normal.
I know you said before you feel there's still a stigma, and
there is.
But I wonder too, you know, the internet you would think would open up, and it does for many people, open up their world, but then it also creates a certain anxiety in a generation who feel there's a certain kind of level of you know, life that they should be at, or there's a sense that their friend might be having a great time and they're not, and then just that pressure of living up to and being somebody. I don't know if you feel that it will get better.
Oh, it is getting better. It's definitely not
much more open, and it is recognised as a condition as opposed to
exactly. And the amount of times, I don't know if yourself, someone turns around to you and they say, oh God, I was really down yesterday. Oh my God, I was too. And just, you know, it's normalised, and then you don't feel, you know, it's not such a stigma anymore, and just so simple. Literally, even that wellness workshop, like I have it in the play as well. Little things like when you're feeling down, go for a walk, or listen to music, or you know, the most simplest things that you know already, but just by being reminded. Makes such a difference, like, you know, that to look after your mental health. And I've no problem now, especially from doing it if I'm feeling down. That's why I think I don't suffer badly with my mental health. As you can hear, I talk when I'm feeling shit or I'm feeling happy or whatever. I talk about it, and that's how I think I cope with things anyway.
For you, Ger, when it comes to casting, they say, you know, a lot of directors like Woody Allen that would say 97% of the role is the casting of the right person in the right role. I don't know for you whether it was an easy kind of process, or whether you found yourself, because these were, you know, real people, you were trying to get, you know, a certain type of character, you needed a certain type of actor to get that reality. And
I knew it wasn't going to be easy for me.
Right.
And a number of things happened over the period of the play. I think I started rehearsing this last February, maybe January, with a crew. But as it came closer to the day to put her on, one of the characters hadn't got their lines down, which kind of threw me off there. So obviously we had to cancel there. Got another crew, professional actors. These guys that just that's all they do is act. They don't work, they don't do part-time, nothing. But they couldn't apparently work with the guys that had been in the play. There's two girls, excellent actresses, but they weren't professional.
Right.
So,
Egos.
they kind of just lost it. After weeks and weeks and weeks, and then they said, no, we can't deal with these anymore. Because there's one girl who is an excellent actress. She's in another play that I have there that's going around the country all the time, and she's one of the main characters. She is the main character.
Right.
And she does not, she says Ryan, she could have a massive sense. She mightn't say it the way it's written.
Right.
She'll mix up.
You get the sentiment across.
And she'll get the last line for the cue for the next act. They couldn't handle that. So we had to put that to bed and start again. So this crew I'm going to get are just top class. And I say that without, I'm 25 years in this game, I know these guys. These guys just took to the part and love it.
Right.
And my theory on you get actors, but if you don't get people, that can sit down and have a laugh with each other and be comfortable with each other, then I mean, I watched them come into the rehearsal space and start hooks when they see each other. It might be another week before they see you, but they still how are you and then they come back to each other. But they're really the electricity between them because they're human.
Right.
Before. I'd never pick an actor again that couldn't click with the rest of them.
And I see a lot of material there for another play, by the way, about putting on a play.
The play about the play.
Yeah, there's a lot of mental illness in the acting community. So.
Everywhere.
But that 25 years, I don't know whether you would sort of have a feeling that theatre itself, you know, there is that sort of notion that, you know, high-end theatre is really not for everybody, and there's definitely also always been those like passion play and all that who put on much more down to earth kind of working class kind of productions for an audience who would relate. I mean, would you say I don't know if you over the 25 years you feel it's healthy now, or whether it's always going to be in some kind of flux?
No, well, I think really when we started years ago, myself and my brother, now he's doing his own thing, but I never liked theatre.
Right.
And I could write. I had a gift being able to write stuff, but I could only write like Lorna.
Real.
Down to earth, something that was real.
Yeah.
I wrote a play years ago, and I'm redoing it now at the moment. I haven't done it for 10 years or something. But that particular play was based on my own family. My sons and that, different things. And that sold out completely at Civic Theatre for a whole week, and then I put it on again and sold out again.
Brilliant.
Because people who never went to theatre were able to say, Jesus, that kid's like my own son.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I think that's what theatre needed. Certainly there's places for the high end, of course there is.
Yeah.
But I believe I've done my part, and I think Laura's doing her, bringing the plays, the theatre, to a working class audience. And you know what I mean? There is them people who will come from a different space, you know. But if they're good enough, and they'll come. But I do think that the theatre died there for a while during the recession.
Right. Well, if there aren't people coming through the door, it's going to, there's always going to be that sort of effect. And in some ways it clears out a certain degree of, would say, for want of a better term, the pretentious, unnecessary stuff just doesn't survive, and people get back to the bone of what is this actually for, and why would I want to?
Well, I would have thought back when theatre ever kicked off, it was about people.
Well, yeah, Shakespeare's original kind of, when the Globe was just, it's a madhouse of just, shouting and screaming and interaction, and like your own kind of reaction, people were passionate about what was going on the stage. They didn't just fan themselves.
Yeah.
Now, I should say, Lean on Me, the great Bill Withers. It is a great title for this kind of play. Would you have would you dare to hope that it would have a certain effect ultimately on it, as it goes out there and almost lives by itself and does its own thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it did the first time round, and people spoke about it for ages, like the fact that he even heard about it, and as I said, in my name it wouldn't have been known at all, absolutely, like the people came away from it. And like I said, you do have to refresh yourself every now and again. Like I said, the wellness workshops, I went again, and they went, oh yeah, I remember now, So if it gets out there enough, absolutely, because it's such a simple message. It's okay not to be okay, and if you talk about things, so simple. I know there's different methods and cognitive therapy, all this kind of thing, but just simply by talking.
Well, that's it.
And normalising it, that.
It's sharing, if you share anything at all, obviously pleasure doubles and troubles halves, when you share.
And it genuinely is, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, listen, I wish you luck. You're going to be here at the end of September. I think it's going to be wonderful to see. I haven't seen it before, so I love this sort of feeling of just.
Looking forward to seeing it.
It's like, and I haven't seen the trailer, as they say, so I don't want to sort of. I think it'll all be fresh, but well done, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next one around as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just regarding Quilt Productions, which is the company name, it's just that's we're into producing plays from writers or anybody. If you wrote something and you wanted it, I don't have the nerves to put this in. We'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll put your contact details in the piece, and I'll link to your website.
But that's the biggest problem as a writer, is getting people to give you a chance.
That's it. Yeah.
That's one of the big in this
club somewhere they're not allowed in.
It really is. Really is. So it's so refreshing when someone actually does give you a chance, and I think that's what Quill is all about, really. For me, my experience anyway.
Well, as I said, I'll put the links in, and we'll get people to let you know. And I'll be going to run a play in about 10 minutes. If you just you have a coffee, I'll have it on. Lovely job.